Hey friends, welcome to the video. In this video, I'm going to talk about why you feel most stressed in the morning and why you feel most anxious in the morning and why typically that'll usually improve and you'll feel less stressed and anxious as the day goes on, why that's happening and some things that you can do about it. And for those of you that are new to the channel, then welcome. My name is Dan and I help people recover from DPDR and anxiety using coaching. And if you are a subscriber, then welcome back. The reason that you feel most stressed and anxious in the morning, and perhaps that's when your symptoms are the strongest too, is because of your cortisol cycle. So cortisol is commonly sort of seen as the stress hormone in your body, and it sort of is part of the thing that activates the fight, flight, or freeze that gets pumping around your body when that response is happening. But also it's just there for energy for your body. You might be wondering why you feel so stressed and anxious in the morning, and then as the day goes on, you start to feel better, and it's because of the cortisol cycle. So at around 3 a.m., that's when the cortisol levels are typically at their lowest. And at around 8 a.m., that is when the cortisol levels are typically at their highest. You can think of cortisol like an energy pill. So at the morning, there's going to be a lot of it to give you that energy to sustain you throughout the day. And then towards the end of the day, the pill sort of wears off and the cortisol is quite low, which will allow you to go to sleep. And so that's a typical cycle for a person which isn't going through anxiety and DPDR. Your cortisol is still going through this same cycle, but it might just be at higher levels during all hours of the day. So that's why you could be waking up at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. or 7 a.m. or whenever it is that you wake up, and you wake up with racing thoughts, or you wake up with a feeling of dread, or you wake up with a pounding heart. And because cortisol responds to stresses like work and life problems and deadlines and all that other stuff, if you're going through the anxiety cycle and your nervous system is sensitized, it's very likely that a lot of things you are seeing as a stressor right now. So if you're seeing a lot of things as a stressor, then is it any wonder that the stress hormone is getting put in overdrive right now? And so that's why you're feeling like you do when you wake up. And so you might be wondering, well, what can you actually do about this? And there's a lot of literature and a lot of self-help stuff out there as well about what to actually do to lower the cortisol levels. And generally, they're just things that you think would be correct, such as perhaps supplementing your nutrition, or doing exercise, practicing relaxation techniques, taking adaptogens, which are naturally found in herbs like ashwagandha. And of course, the main one, which is the main one that I work with, is understanding why you're getting stressed over this stuff in the first place. Because to be frank, it's all a bit of a mind game. There's no single one supplement you can take or exercise regime that you can do which is going to get you back to those normal levels. It's going to be a collection of everything, and some things you might find better for you than other things. But what is important, and what I've found that is a core component of this, is to process everything, whether that's with me or a therapist, or doing your own journaling or doing your own research. Whatever it is getting down to why you're actually getting stressed and what you're thinking about all these situations. Then your levels are going to start to come down. And when you used to wake up in the morning with the racing heart and all the other sort of dread feelings and things like that, that's no longer going to start to happen, because your mind isn't seeing all these stresses. So, the cortisol isn't needed to be released in such, sort of larger quantities than what is just a normal, healthy, unanxious, un-DPDR person. And then you're going to find that, sure, maybe in the morning you might feel, a bit more stressed than you would at the end of the day. But I mean, that can happen to anybody in any stage of their life. And a big thing that you can consider too, which is sort of happening, is that when you are in the anxiety cycle and going through anxiety and DPDR, everything is magnified 10 times. So little things that never really used to bother you before, imagine that blown up 10 times, it's probably going to bother you now. And things that really used to bother you before, blown up 10 times, is absolutely 100% going to bother you now. And that's just to take the pressure off yourself a little bit, because often we can be really hard on ourselves when we are going through something like this. You know, why can't I recover? Why can't I get better? It's just because everything's out of whack at the moment. And so, my friends, I really hope this has been useful to you and you have found it informative. If you do have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I do read them all and I try to answer all of them. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.